So let's cover the basics of what is called junk science, or the Daubert challenge. So the Daubert challenge is a hearing conducted before the judge where the validity and admissibility of the expert testimony is challenged by the opposing counsel. Now, the expert is required to demonstrate that his or her methodology and reasoning are scientifically valid and can be applied to the facts of the case. Now, the Daubert standard provides a rule of evidence regarding the admissibility of expert witnesses' testimony during United States federal legal proceedings. So a party may raise a Daubert challenge, which is a special motion raised before or during trial to exclude the presentation of unqualified evidence to the jury. In Daubert, 7 members of the court agreed on the following guidelines for admitting scientific expert testimony. So it's Rule 702, testimony by expert witnesses. A witness who is qualified as an expert by knowledge, skill, experience, training, or education may testify in the form of an opinion or otherwise if, so here are some qualifiers, the expert's scientific, technical, or other specialized knowledge will help to understand the evidence or to determine a fact in issue. The testimony is based on sufficient facts or data. The testimony is the product of reliable principles and methods, or the expert has reliably applied the principles and methods to the facts of the case. So what's the basic bottom line with evidence? Basic bottom line is it a common use within the medical field? These are some common qualifiers. Is it common use in the medical field? Is it qualified in peer-reviewed journals? Is it commonly used in hospitals? These are some of the major factors to consider. So just because a chiropractor uses a particular therapy does not mean it fits into these qualifiers, or if a company that sells that machine writes a paper on it, again, does not mean it qualifies. So the real factors, the 3 big ones, the first big one is, has it been in a peer-reviewed journal? That's the big one right there. Has it been qualified in a peer-reviewed journal? That's the big one. Another common one, is it commonly used in hospitals, or is it common within the medical field? Now you notice it says medical field there. In other words, are those diagnostics commonly used? And are they authoritative, and have they been proven to be authoritative? That's whether or not it's going to be junk science. Now, in chiropractic, there's several aspects to junk science. Some of the more common ones is the neural kilometer. Neural kilometer is not reproducible and reliable. There are many variables and factors between the technician, the room temperature, the condition of the patient. Was the patient rested? Did they do exercise? The temperature of the room, the wind blowing in the room, the moisture in the room. There's a lot of variables that will affect the neural kilometer reading. And it's the exact same thing with thermography. Thermography is, again, highly dependent on the room temperature, even the fans in the room. Where are the fans blowing in the room? The condition of the patient. Did they exercise? Did they not exercise? There's just so many variables. And those are surface EMG is the same thing. Surface EMG is not, I'm talking about surface EMG, is not peer-reviewed. There's just too many variables with surface EMG, the conductivity, the surface of the skin, the hairs, the moisture, the technician themselves that's applying it, the location. I mean, there's just so many variables. That's why they're not peer-reviewed. But those are 3 of the most common ones that chiropractors use that are not peer-reviewed. In other words, it's junk science. And again, when you use junk science, that's when if you get called out with junk science, it'll destroy your whole testimony. That using one piece of machine, if you have a good attorney, he'll take that one machine you did and he'll just show how everything else you do is not trustworthy.